Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today we are gonna do a winter TBR. I consider winter from the solstice that is told on me online. It says winter starts from the 21st of December to the 20th or the 19th of March. Now, where I'm at, we had our winter really early this year. We had like heavy snow from the second week of November, which is very, very rare. I had an idea of like filming outside just to give y'all like a winter vibe, but this is the best that I could do. It says it's minus 14, but probably feels like minus 23 outside. I can hear the wind outside and it was super bright. And when it's winter and it's super bright, that means it's like really, really cold. So I'm here to share my winter TBR. Did I read the books that I wanted to read in autumn? All of them? No, I did not. Some of these are repetitives, but it's just a fun video for me, and I feel like it gets me in the groove of things, and I put it in a place where it is easier for me to remember, like, oh, pick up from these books, you know. That is my little spiel. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. What is on your winter TBR? Please let me know down in the comments. So first of all, I'm gonna start with the holiday reads. I know the holiday has passed, but I had a couple of holiday reads in my winter TBR just so that like I can prioritize them. I had two right here. The first one was A Pack for Winter by Eliana Lee. This is in a universe with another author, and this was the first one I picked up. There's another one before this that's called A Pack for Autumn, and I think each season has a book with different authors. I read this. I really enjoy it. You know, it's cute or whatever, but I feel like I'm not a big fan of cozy. I will read the rest of the series because I just, you know, I like the vibe of the small town, but the coziness is not really my spiel, but I don't hate it enough that I'm like, I'm never gonna read a book marketed as cozy ever again. This is about Ivy Noel Winter. She's like a teacher, but she's also a people pleaser, which I'm not really a fan of reading a people pleaser, and she definitely was in this book, but she was able to, you know, character development, right? And just be like, no, 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 no. But also, it's a Why Choose, obviously, Omega verse. And I do like Why Choose, so I feel like let me read something different, because my Why Choose that I read in Omega verse is very dark. Okay, lots of red flags, but it's fiction, so it is what it is. But this one is on the other extreme of like Omega verse and stuff like that, so really cute. The second was It Happened One Christmas by Chantal Guertin. This is a book that I bought last year for the holidays, and it was my first holiday purchase. I've never bought like a holiday book before. I'm like really slowly building my library. Like, this thing of building library is very new to me. Like, it's not something that I've been doing my whole entire life. Like, I'm a library person, library kid at heart, so having to choose what you want to buy, put in your library is like a big task. You know, I don't want to just buy whatever is interesting to me, I will buy. And so yeah, this is set in a small town in Quebec. The main character is trying to get permission to film a Hallmark Christmas movie, I think, in the town, but she has to ask the mayor. The mayor is an owner of a tree farm, and he's also a grumpy person and is protective over his small town. So there's that, like, you know, difference, and you know, will he say yes? He'll probably say yes, and there's gonna be like some tension, and you know, they're gonna end up together. So I started this. I did not finish it, and I did not read it this holiday season. I'm on chapter 5, so that's like out the way, but this was on my winter TBR that I wanted to read before I procrastinated filming this video. It's gonna go back to my next winter TBR for sure, because I really want to finish it and like be done with it, you know. And then we have like a contemporary, which is The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. I've always been interested in this book ever since I saw the cover like years ago. It was like a little bit popular for a time there. After a while it wasn't, but even before that, I know I discovered it when I was browsing in the bookstore, which I absolutely love, and I really like the cover. I don't know, it feels very nostalgic to me. It gives like Twilight vibes, just a picture, but not like vampire, but Forks vibe. And I'm like, okay, Alaska, because I think I did read one book a long time ago that was set in Alaska, and I really enjoyed it. Kala, which is the main character in this book, she has an estranged relationship with her father because her mom fled Alaska because she couldn't deal with like being in the middle of nowhere, which I am living in the kind of in the middle of nowhere, girl. You can walk my neighborhood in 1 hour. This is literally small town vibes, which is not for the weak, but I've been enjoying it, but I've become antsy low-key. So I can understand that like the mom is like, you know, I need to go. Now Kala is like 26 and she learns that her father is sick, I think, doesn't have a lot of days left, and she goes back to Alaska just to see how she can try to mend the relationship that they have or not have. And the male character Jonah works for the dad. I think the dad owns a plane charter, and like Jonah is like keeping that business alive, and he loves Alaska. He couldn't call Alaska anything but home. And you know, there's like tension of like a city girl coming to a rural place, and it's like you don't understand this lifestyle, you have a different lifestyle and stuff like that. So I don't know, the journey between these two, and I feel like it has a contemporary feel. I really hope I enjoy it because I think I have low-key high hopes for it. Hopefully it does not disappoint. There are other books I think under this series because they have the same vibe and they have the same font, so in my head I'm like, it's probably in the same series, interconnected standalones maybe. So I'm really excited for A Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker, and I think this year is the year that I'm gonna read it because I've had this book for a while. So there's that. Then we have the last two books in a series that I started last year, y'all. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to read this. I can't wait. Maybe I might read this next, who knows. But it is the Winter Night trilogy. I read The Bear and the Nightingale last year. I absolutely love it. I like Eastern European folklore, or like Northern European folklore. It was like really creepy, but I kind of enjoyed that. I like folklore that it's kind of like a warning, and it also kind of like made me realize, hey, maybe this is how it was back in the day, because obviously before Christianism became like a whole big thing throughout the world, like people believed in gods and people had rituals and like, you know, paganism and stuff like that. So it is like set in that kind of era in like northern Russia, in the middle of like nowhere, like a small town again, like the backs of Russia. And like in my head I have like an idea of how it looks like because like it was so descriptive. I love her writing. Anyways, just to say I love that book, and it's a trilogy, and so I purchased the other two books like back to back. I thought I was going to finish the whole series because I even stopped myself from reading as fast as I can for The Bear and the Nightingale because I wanted to have the second and the third book in my hands when I finished the first one. But it was in March, it was starting to be spring, and you know how that goes. Anyways, we have The Girl in the Tower, which is the second book by Catherine Arden, and I am so excited to read this and see what, you know, Vasilisa is going to do, because she's a clever girl. You know, if she needs to do what she needs to do, and I'm excited to read this, and I just want to get back into Catherine Arden's world. So yeah, we have that, as well as we have The Winter of the Witch, which I have an idea of what it might be, but I don't know, things might go like haywire because the other book towards like I think the 70%, I was like, my heart was palpitating because I'm like, oh my goodness, what is gonna happen? So these for sure I'm going to be reading in 2026. So, and then a book that I wasn't really like gonna read, but social media and the cover really reeled me in, is Lore of the Wilds by Annalise Sabrina. I have heard mixed reviews of this one. I just want to read it for myself and see if I'll like it or I won't like it, or I just don't care about it. It is her debut novel, so I'm not gonna give her so much slack on writing style and how good her writing is or whatever. If it's a bit clunky, that's to be expected with some authors. Some authors like really come like knocking it out the gate, but some others, you know, you kind of like have to work through it. And this was supposed to be self-published, but because the way she was promoting it and the way the audience really liked it, I think she was picked up by a traditional publisher. So there's that. I like that it's also like a black girl as the main character. The black characters, we like that in fantasy because we don't see a whole lot of that. So I'm really excited to read this. There is a second book, but I will read this and give y'all my thoughts, whether it's on like my Instagram, TikTok, or on here. We'll see how that goes. She makes a deal with the Fae Lord because her village is starting to get under attack and like things are happening, and she has tried to escape, but that was a failure. She's like, you know what, I gotta save my town, my village, whatever. And so she makes a deal with the Fae Lord, and we see that journey. I also don't think she has magic, so she pretends that she's making a deal for something else, but technically she just wants to make a deal to get her magic. How she's gonna do that, I don't know. There's two people on the cover, so I'm like, is it a white choose or not? I don't know. It is white. Is it a YA or not? I don't know if it's YA. I'll put it on the screen if I think it's YA. But yeah, it seems a little bit interesting, and I just want to, you know, delve deep into the world and also black characters, so there's that. So yeah. And then we have a book that was in my autumn TBR, but I did not have time to read it. I don't think I was in like the mood to read it. It is The Library of Shadows by Rachel Moore, and this is interesting, and I feel like it still has the vibe. I want to get into like a little bit of dark academia, so hopefully I can read this book. The main character enrolls in a haunted school, but people disappear. She wants to know what happened to her dead father, like the events that led to her father's death. The male character is a ghost. I'm excited to read this. Hopefully I really will read this because I really want to read it. Like, it's not something I'm like, oh, I'm just putting in. I really thought hard of what I really wanted my winter TBR to be this time, because I think in autumn I was a bit over ambitious. But yeah, this one right here looks something that I would like to read, especially with the weather that we got going on outside, girl. Yes. So we have that one, and then I have two last books. So the other one, this definitely being read in 2026 by fire or by force. I'm reading this in 2026, and it is Eternal Ruin by Tika Skimmer. Let me tell you, Immortal Dog, girl, when I tell you the main character Don, no fuck, I mean, she gives some type of fucks, but like by any means necessary, and oh my god, the ball scene, y'all, so tea, and the way it ended, hello. Now I'm a bit anxious because Tikas is not afraid to put us in uncomfortable situations, and it's like, it's not a cut and dry story. It's like there's so many complex characters. Kidan is complex. She's not likable at all, and it's either you really like this book or you don't really like this book. But as for me, I love the first one, and I really want to read the second one. Also, it is inspired by East African, Ethiopian folklore. This is like dark academia and like a little bit of fantasy in it, so really interesting. Vampires girl as well, so I am so excited to read this. Like, and her editions that come out so good, and I love it. Like, look at this beauty. Look at her. Look at her. Like, this is just like a regular edition that came out hardback. I'm so excited for Eternal Ruin. I'm also a little bit scared because I don't know what the heck is gonna happen, and the way the last book ended on so many characters, like, I'm like, this character, how are they gonna feel? And then this character, like, what? And now we have a whole situation with other new characters. It's like, you have this thing that just happened and that's like continuously happening. How are you going to protect this other character, and how are you going to go about it? Because yeah, so interesting. I'm so excited for this. Like, y'all don't understand this right here. Yeah, and I love the cover. Hello, obsessed. Anyways, and then my last book for my winter TBR, I hope I really read this, but it would be such a shame if it goes another year without me reading it. But because I started the book in like, you know, March, April, May, I feel like that's when I'll probably read it. I don't know, I have this weird thing. If I started it last year in March, I want to read it in the same month because it will give the same vibes, and like weathers are relatively the same. Anyways, just to say, the last book that I want to read is Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. I read Divine Rivals. I really liked it. Typically, I'm not the type to read stories that is based on, you know, journalists and newspapers and typewriting. Like, that's just not my steez. But it sounded interesting, and a girl I know really loves Divine Rivals, and I'm like, you know what, let me pick it up and see what's tea. I think I first borrowed it from the Libby app from my library. Her writing style, so tea, and I love the audio, and I'm like, oh, I want to read it physically, so I bought the both of them at the same time. I also heard mixed reviews from the people on the book internet, so I want to read this and see what it's all about, because also the way the last one ended, I'm like, oh my goodness, what's finna happen? Because like, hello, how are we gonna get out of this? Like, how are we gonna communicate, you know? So yeah, I'm so excited to read this. I know she has a new book called Wild Reverence. Also, The Girlies Love, but I don't think I'm reading that one. Those are all the books that I want to read for my winter TBR. I am really excited for them, and hopefully I get to read most of them. I'm not aiming to read all of them for sure, but you know, most of them. And maybe I'll do a check-in. Maybe I should do a reading vlog of like my winter TBR reading vlog. If you want to see real-time updates, follow me on my Instagram and TikTok as well, but mostly on my Instagram. That's where I'll be posting stuff. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.